tear gas. It's not any of that stuff. It's not. I promise you. Even if they ate bullets for breakfast, they're not going to toss tear gas and all that, because the body's going to react the same. Whether you can withstand it or not is 100% irrelevant. It's like, it's ridiculously irrelevant because your body is going to react. They're made to cause your body to react, not for you to react. It's to make your body react. So these guys aren't going to be popping crowd control stuff in close proximity of themselves without wearing some type of protective gear so that their body doesn't react to it. You can eat bullets, glass, nuclear missiles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but your body's still going to react when the stuff hits your system. It's still going to react accordingly. So again, I guess people just like to throw in their uneducated opinions because it sounds good in their head. Like even like people who think they're doing they're like, she's talking about the right side of the whole thing, like laughing at him. He must breathe it for breakfast. Yeah, sure. The uneducated opinion. That's one of the most dangerous things about today's society and what the internet brings. It brings a lot of uneducated opinions, a lot of uneducated analyses. People that don't even have the beginner's knowledge of half this stuff, but somehow they're very educated in the ways of the things. It doesn't make sense. It never makes sense to me. Like if I offer my uneducated opinion, I let that be known. I let it be known that this is my uneducated opinion. I don't know anything of what I'm talking about, but this is what I see logically. Because that's if I throw out something on, if I throw out a post about something, or I say something here, I follow it up a lot of the times in some aspect of talking about something or that or whatever. That this is my opinion. This is what I see. My training, my learning, the things that I've encountered within these realms. Because while I do offer opinionated stuff on things that I'm not knowledgeable on, it's just commentary from there, and I try to make that apparent that it's commentary. King of being slayed. Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is the king of being slayed. Forever slayed dragon. The noodle dragon. That's what I should have called it. Noodle dragon. That's what Piers Morgan is. He's the noodle dragon. Not even fierce. Not even a fierce dragon. A noodle dragon. Dragon that's not violent and doesn't breathe fire. Gotcha questions are not journalism. Damn, AI. Fucking hell, man. It went hard. I wasn't even trying to slay him. I was just pointing out him always being slayed, and this shit is just like, nah, we're gonna join in. Slayed. Gotcha questions are not journalism. And that is like, that's a summation of Piers Morgan. Gotcha question. A body filled of gotcha questions. I didn't even try for that one, and it got him. It got him. Don't worry, guys. We got him. Looks like that the website took my what I said this morning to heart. I told them they're like, it's unacceptable to be charging people money and this service to be running this bad. Like, absolutely awful. Not even peak times, and yet this service is running so terribly. Oh, I went at them. They're like, oh, we're sorry. And then the service stopped shitting the bed. Fuck, this guy ADD video games. Probably listening to music. Fuck, this guy ADD like a motherfucker. Oh, this is a stubby. Jittering. Yeah, it's a stubby. I realized when everything was stacked up, it was a stubby. Like, oh, hell. This guy ADD like a motherfucker. Look at his leg. All right, stop. God damn it. We're gonna just start over. that was just bad. It's just like, it gave me all the stuff. So it's like, oh my God, and it's still doing it. I do cache reload. Man, it gets him with the king of gotcha. Hey, I don't know why we copied that. To recreate the title, because janky. I didn't like it. It gets him though. The king of gotchas. It's a good gotcha. It's a gotcha. A gotcha inception. A gotchception. That's a gotchaception. A gotception. Right. It kills my connection. Watching Piers Morgan get slapped. The 92. Hydra porn. What are we chewing on, man? I can hear you. Had to go in there and apologize to the little guy. He wasn't doing nothing. It was this stupid window out here. They hired people from the hood to hang up the new gutter system, and it's janky, as I assumed it would be, and it drips. Like, they didn't do it well. I'll tell you that, and I can tell you they didn't do it well because I've not done gutter work, but I've actually had people. I've interacted with people that do the gutters, and one thing they tell you is that you shouldn't have icicles hanging underneath. Like, you can have they'll be on the gutters because obviously it gets wet and the water does drip down. But what you won't have is, you shouldn't have water that goes behind the gutter, and icicles are between, like, the fascia and the gutter. Like, this is the gutter, the fascia that's behind the gutter, and this is the soffit, I believe. I can't remember what name is what, but there's a fascia and a soffit. It could be vice versa, but that's how it works. The fascia and a soffit, they come together, they form that edge that your gutters go against. And every gutter installer I've ever, some of my crew are gutter installers. You should not have ice buildup in this point here. There should not be a ton of water liquid going down behind the gutters. If it's done right, the water always goes, bulk of the water goes into the gutter. And if there's ice forming, it forms underneath the gutter. Like, the gutter's here, it forms underneath the gutter. It doesn't form, like, behind the gutter in this crack, because water is going to follow the line, but it's not going to follow the line and climb up the board, climb up the fascia between the gutter and the fascia, especially if the space is almost non-existent. If it's actually butted up against it, as every gutter installer I know says, you should not have a ton of water built up on the board behind the gutter. And I can look out this window and see there's tons of ice buildup everywhere, all the way around. Not just on the underside of the gutter, not just off the edges of the gutter, not just off the points in which water is dripping. It's building up behind the gutter, and it not having a lot of place to escape in the buildup with the extreme cold temperatures. It's going to freeze, and that's what's happening. So I guarantee you, in less than a year, these gutters are going to start pushing out. Like, next winter, these gutters are going to be pushed away from the fascia. They'll probably be sitting like that at an angle. Like, that's the back of the gutter right there. It's going to be at an angle because the ice buildup is going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing them out. And since Nobody ever goes up there to do anything. Like, you can't expect our maintenance personnel to climb up and tend to gutters, tend to the roof stuff. That they hire, they parse that out to another company that does that. And if you parse it out to a ghetto, zero quality, negative 15-star company, you're going to be sending the work out constantly. But I feel like that's kind of the point. You want to create that job security, if you will. You don't do it 100% right every time. You do it like 90% right, so that you always have work to come out and do. And you could just sell that as, oh, it's wear and tear. It's how times go. Weather's getting worse. I mean, climate crisis. I mean, you could literally sell it as any environmental thing, new thing that's being pushed. And that's what this new fall off of quality is being trumped up to. That's what it's being explained away as. Oh, well, the weather's just so bad, and materials in the earth are just not so good when you're yanking them out now. That's why we're having to create fake ones. Because we're losing the quality of the material as we're pulling it out of the earth. It's so dumb. Video games. So, it's just how my brain sees it. It's like, it's so ignorant. And I did it again. Go back. There we go. Spotify. I don't want to show my porn files. Oh, it's like, wait, I don't ever remember recommendeds. Not that I have anything to hide there. It just causes my eyes to grab onto stuff that I don't need to. I need to see this stuff. I wish I could get rid of this and just elongate this. Hey, there we go. More pins. Less recommendations. Turn them off anyway. I don't need to show website history. Oh, I don't care about your recommendation. Microsoft, you guys are stupid. You guys, it's a collection of people that build this stuff. Even then, you guys are like struggle with it. But otherwise, once you build it, like, your brain is gone. You don't think about it anymore. You wait for feedback to come in about how it works, things that are broken, and then you go and you fix stuff. When it comes to the ultimate program, its use, and the deciding factors of this stuff, it's not you. It's really not you. And always trying to insert yourself into that conversation is why people hate you. And it's not just like 5 people in a basement raging over Xbox Live party chat. No, it's millions of people around the world that hate you. And if you ask them all to essentially go down to what it is, it would be a very small range of things. AKA, I don't like that it tells me what to do all the time. It tries to tell me that it knows me more than me. That would be one of the biggest ones. It's attempting to take control. You'll always be fought. You'll be fought forever. Forever. You won't ever win the fight either. You're just gonna fight to lose consecutively. You'll never have an instance in which you win the war. You won't even win many battles. You'll win an argument, but you'll still lose the battle. And you'll never want to end the war because you're so pompous. So we will never actually win this war as intended. Because if we won this war, you would go back to just shutting up, making something that we can use. And that's it. And Bill Gates would be locked in a cage. He would be locked in a cage, be jabbed with all the stuff he's been jabbing everybody else in the world with. Spray him in the face with all the aerosols he's been spraying everybody else in the face with. Stick him in a chamber where the air is filled with some type of contagion. Because we all know what Bill Gates is involved in. Like, the only non-scientists in the world doing the most human experimentation. That's Bill Gates. Has no knowledge in science, but does all the science. And people want to be mad at Bill Nye. He's not really a scientist. He studied enough science to be able to teach children science. As a matter of fact, Bill Nye is the Mr. Rogers of the science world for my generation. So if you want to be mad at anybody about scientific cultural appropriation, be mad at Bill Gates. Be mad at Dr. Fauci. Be mad at those guys, businessmen, tie wearers. Tie wearers and in a lab coat. Well, I'm a nerd guy, science guy, and I like ties. There's a difference. You're a nerd. Bill Gates ain't a nerd. Bill Gates wouldn't know the first thing about defining what a nerd is. And yes, being overly science oriented and driven is you're a fucking nerd. Trust me. I've been called it a lot as a kid. Being creative and scientific, thinking outside the box. Well, Bill Gates thinks outside the box. No, Bill Gates steals everything that somebody else puts outside the box. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to pull that out here for me. Bill Gates comes, ooh, I like that. I'm going to take that over here with me. Him and his homie Steve Jobs, they both did the same damn thing. They're both thieves. They're not innovators, they're thieves. The guys that you don't hear about, those are the innovators. The guys that Jobs jobbed. Those are innovators. The people that Bill Gates piggybacked off of, those are the innovators. Because he didn't invent anything. He didn't invent or create anything. He was a rich boy who stole his friend's ideas. Or piggybacked his friend's ideas. Can't say stole them. Because their friends never went after them. Steve Jobs' friends kind of did. Who's the other one? Oh, yeah, that's right. Mark Zuckerberg made friends with people for the sole purpose of stealing their money for his idea. We got about an hour and a half before I got to take off to that play. Which, as a matter of fact, you. Oh, I got a contact. Oh, piss. I knew as soon the moment my hands hit the keys, it was wrong. have to contact support for friggin' Cash App because they won't accept my check that I'm trying to deposit because it's got my middle initial on it. And I'm not going to have my school re-administer a check when my legal name is Justin M. Moore, which is what appears on the check. It's the stupidest thing in the world. I'm not having my school reissue a check. You guys should be requiring, like, if my driver's license shows my middle initial, but I go by my first and last name, then the middle initial still friggin' exists, man. It's not like I decided to get rid of my middle name for the purposes of legality. I don't know. And if you have such an issue where people are stealing other people's identities, that you're using a semantic parameter like that, they then start requiring to know everybody's middle name when they set up these accounts. Don't make it optional. If they have a middle name, then they should have it. You should have to put it. And you make it a box. Do you have a middle name? Yes. Give it. Do you have a middle name? No. Okay, moving on. It's that easy. And I was thinking about it when I was walking back from the bus stop. This is how you can tell our government is they're purposely doing everything possible to not follow what they should be following. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't see. You know how easy it is for them to find out how many illegal immigrants are actually here, who is actually an illegal immigrant. And you're not going to find all of them, obviously, because not every one of them are going to steal somebody's identity. But a lot of them are going to be on identities that are fraudulent. And you know how you find a fraudulent identity? You go to the organization that has access to every social security number. And then you use AI to say, hey, go through here and find all the duplicates and give me a list of all the duplicates. And you could literally throw them in there, like send them over to Google where Google's on its own power grid or wherever. You can run 300 plus million names or social security numbers through a database, an AI database, find all the duplicates, produce a list of those duplicates, and then start sending out people to follow up. Well, that'll take we're paying you. We're paying you to get rid of fraud, aren't we? We're paying you to do all this stuff, to get rid of all this stuff. So use our money wisely. You're not using it to shovel the sidewalks. You use it to shovel the roads, but not the sidewalks. So instead, if you're not going to shovel the sidewalks, then put it into using the social security numbers as a way to find out who shouldn't be here. Because I can guarantee you're going to find so many duplicate social security numbers. And 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to look at the person and say, yeah, I think you stole that identity. I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, because you know exactly when that social security number was issued. The first time it was ever issued. You know exactly when it was, what date that is. You can correlate that to a person and find out, they were born on the exact same day that this was issued. Now what are the coincidences in that? There are no coincidences. This is how it works. If everybody's that's born in the United States is issued a Social Security number when they get here, and anybody that becomes a legal resident is also issued a Social Security number when they become a legal resident, or a tax ID number, it doesn't matter. They're the same thing. It identifies who you are. There's only one of them that should exist. And if there are duplicates, there's a problem. Start isolating all the duplicates. And then start following up. Because if you find that this Social Security number was issued 11/15/1985, and you go to talk to somebody and that same Social Security number was issued any other day, there's no death certificate for the one that 11/15/1985, and you can't really fake a death certificate into the system. So I'm going to say you're fraudulent, buddy. Come with me. You're arrested now. It just takes oh, well, guess what? You just hired a bunch of people to do a job. Don't cry about it. I don't want to hear about, oh, it takes a lot of time and people, blah, blah, blah. You're not releasing the Epstein files. You're not doing anything else we've asked for. So if you're not going to do any of that stuff, then go through the tax ID numbers and Social Security numbers, run them through AI, and tell us who shouldn't be here and who's stealing people's identities. You're not going to do any of that stuff. And you're going to make real Americans jump through hoops to actually take their steps to be an American. That's what we ask. That's really, at this point, we don't care what else you're doing. You're going to hide the PDF files anyway. You're going to enrich your rich buddies anyway. You're going to enrich fraudulent scumbag corporate business anyway. At least start going through the tax ID numbers and Social Security numbers and find out who's stealing them. And not really who's stealing them, but who's using them. Because I guarantee you go to those dumb people who are buying them. Those people are airheads. Their heads are empty. They're useless human beings. That's why they had to come up here and buy somebody else's identity. Because if they were to use their own, they wouldn't get anywhere in life. No, you're a waste of time and effort giving you anything. Get back. Go away. That's why these people steal identities. It's because they're useless human beings. I can tell you if my identity is stolen, then that is a very stupid person. There's a very, very stupid person. If someone tries to steal my identity, you won't get anything. And you're just going to give me credit points, you trying to do anything. Because if you try to do anything, you're going to have to pay. And unless you're the one that's paying, I mean, I would pay. If I could get the things going that I have sitting out on a table to do, if I could get any one of them going, I would be debt-free. I don't have crushing amount of school debt from my previous degree. The company just got sued. And we everybody that graduated with me and after me basically got pretty much anybody that went to the branch that I went to were just like, okay, you have that, enjoy, you're professionals. Just please don't come after us. So that's what that ended up being. But it doesn't mean I didn't work my ass off for my degree. Doesn't mean I didn't work my ass off for the company I worked for almost 6 years. Or almost 7 years. In December of 2020, it would have been 7 years. I would have been at my company for 7 years. but I got laid off April 1st, 2020. And yes, will forever stick in my mind. Because that's kind of the downfall of me. I felt like my purpose had gone out the window. The usefulness of me had gone out the window. I was no longer useful in the web world because no matter what I did, no matter where I applied, how many jobs I applied for, no matter how many companies had heard of me, they couldn't afford to hire me. COVID had ruined any ability for me to get a job in my career field. And I was really good at my job. I was really, really good at my job. I was exhausted all the time, but I was really good at my job. Ask anybody I worked with. I was very opinionated, very, maybe a little less aggressive than I am now, but I was still very aggressive. I took no shit from nobody. And I mean, the guys that I worked around and the praise that I got and the accolades that I got from them told me, don't ever question yourself. Don't ever question yourself. Don't ever let anybody look at you even sideways. You don't got to get violent, but you just let them know. Like, I don't know who the hell you think you're looking at, but I'm hoping you're going to say not you and it's them or somewhere else, anywhere else. And that's what these guys essentially taught me. Taught me that I'm worth way more than I have ever seen myself as. And I needed to stop cutting myself off at the knees. My brother always says it too. He's always telling me I need to stop cutting myself off at the knees. Stop thinking what I'm doing needs to matter to anybody other than me. Again, that's why I continue to come back and do this, because it doesn't. I don't care if it matters to anybody else. I'm going to continue to say the things that need to be said, the truths that need to be spoken, holding people accountable that are so very afraid of accountability, and hold myself to the same standard that I try to hold everybody else to. Which is why I hold everybody to that same standard, because I'm already up here. Why don't you all come join me? I'm already my worst enemy. You need to be your own worst enemy as well, because at least you know you're learning. You're never settling for whatever. So yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't. I do. I do, because I would love to have people to entertain. But I'm not going to care enough. I'm not going to care to the point where I'm giving myself up for it. Giving away my free will for it. We already give away our naturalistic free will and freedom, because it is chaos. It's pure chaos. To have natural freedom and natural the natural freedom is chaos and anarchy. Anybody could do anything regardless of what anybody else says. Hey, look at this. We're doing this again. Yay. Evening. We'll do 18. It's going to keep doing it because this website is irritating. This is what I'm talking about, dude. What irritates me about these sites. You're being paid. Hold on, I need to say some information.